I'll start now. Okay, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining us for our media course webinar. I'll shortly be handing you over to Victoria Colton, who's the head of department for media. She'll be delivering a short presentation just on Life Oaklands, some more details about our media courses. We will have a live Q&A session at the end of the presentation, so please do type any questions you have in the chat box. The webinar will be recorded and available to you on our website from next week, so if you do want to rewatch this, it will be available. So I'd now like to hand over to Victoria.
Thanks, George. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Media Virtual Open event. So Media is based over our Welwyn Garden City campus, and we have a media film studio equipped with industry standard software. We've got a fully equipped professional computer suite, advanced filming equipment. We've also got a games design suite as well. So our full-time courses, so we've got a level 1, it's a music, media and performing arts course. So students that are at level 1 will be able to do a bit of media, music, performing arts, and then could potentially progress on to do our level 2 creative media production course, do a level 3 creative media production, and we do a level 3 digital games design course. So these are your tutors who'll be teaching you for next year. You'll be meeting some of them in our live Q&A as well. So a bit about what qualification is right for you. So it does depend on what GCSEs you have achieved this year. So for example, if you wanted to do a level 2 in media, you would need to have 3 GCSEs at a grade 3 or a D or above, including English and maths. If you wanted to do a level 3, you need to have 4 GCSEs at grade 4 or C or above. You will also be assessed on a summer project that we will give you to complete, which we'll assess in the first week of September. And you'll also be assessed practically within the first few weeks of your course to ensure you are on the right course to suit your practical level. So what is a study programme? Your study programme is the whole course that you will be doing. That includes your programme that you've chosen. So for example, level 2 media. Some of you will then be retaking maths and or English, so that would either be a GCSE and a functional skill. You'll then have to take part in work experience that can be up to 40 hours over the year, and it would depend in terms of what level you are at. We then look at personal development skills, so looking at healthy lifestyles, staying safe online and careers advice as part of your weekly study programme. So a bit about your learning and lessons. So as I've said, your study programme is classed as a full-time course. So you will be expected to be engaged in learning 5 days a week. You'll be in college for 2.5 to 3 days a week. That will be with a tutor in the classroom. The rest will be classed as independent or directed study and online learning. Your course is project-based, so you'll have to submit projects throughout the year. Really important that you meet your deadlines for your projects. The way the course is designed, you will submit your projects and you have to meet all of the criteria within those projects before you're allowed to progress on to complete your final major project around February, March time, which is where you'll be able to get your grade merits or distinctions. Those who have GCSE or functional skills, you will have mock assessments and we will support you to prepare yourself for your exams. So a bit about your lessons. So you will have varied lessons. Some will be tutor-led presentations. You have practical sessions. So it might be that you'll be in the film studio doing some filming, or you're on campus filming around the campus. You'll have group and individual activities. We use Canvas as our virtual learning environment. So tutors upload presentations and any work, any research activities. Some of you will be expected to submit your work on Canvas. We use Canvas with quizzes and to assess your learning. We also have a brand new college app, which you can download using the App Store. Just type in Oaklands College. Excuse me. It's a bit about student support. So all students will have a personal tutor and you'll meet with them for an hour and a half on a weekly basis. We monitor your progress and performance over the year, which is recorded on Pro Portal that parents and yourselves have access to. We have student advisors that provide welfare and support advice, and there's financial support for those who need it. There is regular contact with parents and carers throughout the year. So work experience, we have a dedicated careers team with employability mentors who help students achieve valuable and relevant work experience placements. All students are required to complete work experience. Some students within media, we provide you with live briefs and opportunities to work with employers ongoing throughout the year. That will count as some of your work experience hours because you are working with an employer. So in our department, we create a professional environment that ensures the students will be fully equipped to enter the professional industry or higher education. As a result, 100% of our students progressed on to a positive destination. These are some examples of previous employees that we have worked with, some of whom we are continually working with. We will then be also working with new employers over the coming years. So some steps to you starting at Oaklands College. You need to apply for your course, which can be done on our website. Our admissions team will then review your application, so please do keep checking your emails for your offer email. You'll then receive your grade results from school, and then we will do our enrolment around the end of August. We will be in contact nearer the time with more information. And the last stage is you starting your course with us in September. So tutors and our advice team are now on hand to answer your questions. Please use the chat function to ask your questions and we will answer as many as possible. If you have any further questions after this event, you can go onto our live chat on our website or email info@oaklands.ac.uk. Thank you for listening and we hope you're able to receive all the information you needed to start your course. I'm going to hand over to George in marketing who will be able to look at any questions that have been submitted.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Victoria. We've just had a question through asking what software will students use for games? Not sure who's best to answer that.
Okay.
Ollie?
Yeah, so we've got Unity installed, which is the games engine, design engine that we use, but we also use Photoshop, Maya, Wix, a whole range of different other kind of graphic software to sort of feed into that. So it's Adobe Creative Suite and Unity and Maya are the three main software packages that we use.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Ollie. We just had a question through about the course structure for both level 2 and level 3 media. So I'm not sure whether that's one for Kelly. Is that Kelly or Ollie?
So, I mean, basically the level 2 and the level 3 structure is very similar in the fact that the initial units, which we call the formative units, are formative and therefore aren't assessed towards your final grade. Your final major project is where you get your final grade. In regards to level 3, we have 2 years. The first year, if you complete the first year, you get a diploma. You can choose to get off at that point, or you could continue to year 2, which you get an extended diploma. In the first year of the course, we do 3 main projects. So your first term is kind of split into 2 projects, and it's based on skills development. So we have skills as in practical skills. We also have skills in things like essay writing, research, and we develop projects which develop your skills in those areas. So practical skills, research areas, also understanding context. So really understanding the background of your projects that you're making. So we generally do 2 skills development projects in term 1, which meet the first 4 units. In term 2, we do another project, which is audiovisual and interactive media. So it's a project which includes those 3 components. The idea is that term 1 is skills development. In term 2, you use those skills to create a product. But that is only formatively assessed, so it's only pass or fail. By the time you get to term 3, which is your final major project, you have those skills, you've had a practice run, and then your final major project is assessed based on those skills. So you're actually very fairly graded on the skills that you've developed over the first 2 terms. Year 2 is very similar. We start off with a kind of recap of skills. But in more depth, we look at audience and context in more depth. And then you start basically becoming more independent in your second year. So your second project in your second year is like a essay/dissertation, which will be kind of informing your final major project. So you choose a specialism in the second year. You first of all do a research project and write an essay on it. Then you move forward to produce a practical project in the area that you're interested in. But you kind of get much more creative freedom in the second year in regards to what you produce. Ali, do you want to speak a little bit about level 2?
So level 2, 3, media and games is they're all very, very similar. So in terms of structure, it consists of a number of projects that are where you're learning, you get formative feedback, and then you have to pass them, but they don't define your overall grade. And that's in preparation for the final project, which we call the final major project. And that will determine your overall grade. And that's done at the end of the year. So the structure is a number of formative kind of practice projects, if you will, where you're learning the skills, and then at the end of the year you get the final major project, which determines your grade for the whole year. And obviously the level 2 media course is a 1-year course, and both level 3 media and level 3 games are 2-year courses.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, guys. So we just had a question through about which campus media is at. So media is based at our Welwyn Garden City campus. And then we also had another question through about applications and if there's a deadline. There isn't a deadline for applications, so you can apply at any point for a September 2021 start. We would advise to do that sooner rather than later. So we'd advise kind of before the spring term, just because obviously summer term is busy for exams and GCSEs. So we would advise you sort of make your application by kind of March, April time, just to allow you enough time to obviously get your details through from our admissions team. Somebody's asked, are there different aspects of the digital games course, such as sort of programs, game settings, drawing concept art? Could you give an outline of that, Ollie, and sort of the games design course and what they can expect to learn?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a number of different projects. Each project is trying to develop different skills. So you'll do concept art. So there's a big art component to the game design course. And what we're working on really is trying to get the students to translate ideas in their head, put them onto paper, and then translate those into the digital world. So either making a drawing into a 2D image, and in the second year we do 3D as well. So you learn a lot of those art skills. We also do planning, we also do industry, so you learn a lot about game design industry, CV writing, applying for work experience opportunities, things like that. And then of course we use Unity to actually make the game. So you know, all students from the first 7 weeks are making a game in some form, and we'd expect those games to get more complex, you know, as you move through the course. Culminating the second year, our students at the moment are doing 3D. So first year they kind of focus on 2D games, and now they're learning Maya, which is the 3D software we use, and they're translating their character designs that they've done by a mixture of hand drawing, and they've learned how to make those in Photoshop and 2D programs. They're now making those 3D in Maya, importing those 3D models from Maya into Unity, where they can then animate them and turn them into games. So yeah, there's many different aspects, and as Kelly mentioned earlier, there's also an academic aspect as well, where they're learning some theoretical aspects about analysing games, which with a view to them doing something more academic at university, perhaps. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ollie. And just while we're on the topic of university, we have had a query just about progression. So onto the University of Hertfordshire. In terms of progression routes, what kind of progression routes are there into kind of going on to study sort of a BA film and television production? Obviously, I'm aware that we do offer the HNCs and HNDs, but in terms of going on from kind of a level three course, are there kind of routes there to for students to progress? Yeah,
so we run a level 4 and 5 foundation degree program, which is the kind of first and second year of similar to the first and second year of the film and TV program at the University of Hertfordshire, and then students will typically go on to either study the third year at the University of Hertfordshire or the third year at another university. but students also go on to study a whole wide range of degrees, either media, film, TV, games design. Some have gone on to study degrees which are unrelated, completely unrelated to media, because it does give you, you can change your subject. There is that possibility because it is equivalent to 3 A levels, and we support you to apply to that as well. We support you through the UCAS process, so we'll help you write your personal statements and make sure that you apply for the university course on time. But the University of Hertfordshire do a wide range of courses in creative arts, who we're very closely affiliated with. And we've got a lot of links with the University of Hertfordshire, but almost the level 3 programs that you do here will enable you to apply for pretty much any media or arts related degree program in the UK or abroad.
Just to add to that, Ollie. Oh, am I live now?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Hello. Just to add to that, what I'd like to make clear is kind of the progression route into the media industry is generally through university. So in regards to getting into the film industry, most people go through university and then get their opportunities within the industry after university. The level 2 and 3 qualifications prepare you for university. The university courses really prepare you for industry, although what we do in the level 2 and 3 courses is mirroring the industry to as much as we can.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Ollie. I think that covered it. I just want to confirm just something I said earlier. So I think I mentioned HNC, HND. Just to confirm, it is the foundation degree that we offer, not the HNC, HND route, which does cover level 4 and 5. So yeah, just to confirm that. We've had a question just around kind of further on the course content. So this might be one for you, Kelly, just around if media is just about sort of movies and TV, or whether it covers kind of social platforms and kind of YouTube, that side of things. Oh, Kelly, I think you're muted.
So what we do is a creative media technology course. So basically the course is called Creative Media Technology, and that encompasses both film and television, but also things like web design, social media, using social media as a promotional tool, and also things like working with clients, for example. So we do promotional videos and things like that. So it's a wide breadth of knowledge that you get from the course, so not just film and television. If you want to specialise in film and television, you can. The way that the course runs is that in the final major project, you're given the opportunity to choose your specialism. So you don't have to produce a film, or you don't have to produce a website or whatever. You can produce your project in whatever medium you choose. So whether that be a website, whether that be photography, whether that be a social media promotional kind of project, as long as it fits within the criteria, you can basically produce your work in whatever format you want to.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Kelly. We just had another question just around sort of the application process and sort of applying for level 3 and level 2. So somebody's asked if they don't quite reach the GCSEs required for level 3, would they be offered a place on level 2 automatically, or would they need to apply for both? So I'm not sure whether that's on for Victoria.
Yeah, so if you don't get the entry requirements for the course that you've chosen, whether that's a level 3 or if you don't get the entry requirements for level 2, we would look to offer you a level, the lower level, to develop your skills. So if you didn't meet the entry requirements for level 3, we'd offer you a level 2, so you could work at level 2 for a year, and then potentially you could progress on to level 3.
Okay, thanks, Victoria. Somebody else about computers for home learning. So I think particularly at sort of the current time, in terms of whether that's provided sort of for students to work at home.
Yeah, so at the minute, students that don't have a computer or a laptop at home and are studying GCSE, we have provided those students with a laptop or Chromebook. For those students that already have the GCSE requirements and don't have the facilities at home, we are advising them to come and use the LRC computers that have got the software on, or we've got a media editing suite to come up and use those PCs to support with their course. And then potentially individual students, depend on financial circumstances, would have bursary for different things, but that'd be based on an individual basis.
Okay, thanks, Victoria. Just going to find a few questions we've got here now. So somebody's asking about sort of which grades they would need to get roughly over the 14 units for the UAL extended level 3 in creative media and production to get the distinction merit requirement, which I believe is the entry requirements to sort of progress. Is anyone able to sort of advise on roughly what grades they would need to get? Yeah.
So to progress to university?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the UAL course is graded pass merit distinction, and it's not like BTEC where you might get PPP, MMM, DDD. It's very straightforward pass merit distinction. And when you apply for university, it's usually worked out on UCAS points. So the university will require a certain amount of UCAS points. The UCAS points for a distinction are actually higher than 3As at A level or DDD or D-star at a BTEC. So the distinction's worth 168 UCAS points. Most universities' entry requirements really vary. So you can, if you didn't get a distinction, you got a merit or a pass, you can still get into a university, but obviously it'll be a different university than what you'd have if you got the highest grades. So generally, the answer to that question is that you can get into university with pass or merit or distinction, and they are equally weighted to what A levels or BTECs.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. And just going on to the final couple of questions we've got. So around, will there be some editing as part of the course? I mean, I'm presuming that will be kind of a primary sort of part of the course, but I don't know whether anyone can go into a bit more detail on what they can expect there.
Well, in regards to level 3, we do the first 2 projects that we're doing are generally developing skills in those kind of areas. So it'll be like production skills. So we'll do some introduction to editing, and there'll be quite a lot of that in the first term. In our second term, we kind of look more at digital photography, digital media. So you get to develop your skills in those areas. And when you come to your final major project, obviously you choose which area you want to specialise in. And if that is a film project, then you'll be doing more of the editing. If it's a web design or a photography project, then obviously you'll be using those skills. So basically, the editing is a huge part of the course. It can be as big or as small as you want it to be, depending on what you want to specialise in.
Okay, that's great, thanks. And just final question that's come through. Can you sort of give some examples, or can anyone give some examples of kind of what sort of projects students have done as part of their courses kind of in previous years?
Yeah, so generally we start off, like I said, with film and television. So if I tell you this year, that'll give you a kind of taste. So this year, the first project we did was a genre project. So it's a film project whereby students are given a genre, they have to research, understand the conventions of that genre, and then their outcome is a project within that genre, a film within that genre. Our second project this term is a live brief working with the client from the NHS, which is a really interesting project because the students get to work with people with learning disabilities in a real life situation. So this is a real project whereby they're using the skills they've developed on project 1 to create like motion graphics and interviews with those people. Project 3, or the second term, we do a digital storybook. This year what we're going to be doing is it's going to be based on a real story, so either a person's life or a historical event, where we're going to retell that story using photography, Foley, audio Foley, and interactive media. So you're kind of using all those techniques in there. Traditionally we've been using the mode of factual media for our year 1 FMP. So basically students can produce anything, film, website, photography, as long as it's factual. And in year 2, we basically use year 2 to kind of recap year 1. So the students in year 2 do another genre film, but they get a different genre, and the expectation is that the film that they produce is much better because it's not their first film anymore. And then we produce we're doing at the moment a music video, and the music videos are kind of protest music videos. So they're based on a Black Lives Matter or Trans Lives Matter or mental health awareness. So they're kind of like, they're a campaign music video. After that, we will be starting our FMP preparation, which is our essay, and then we will be going into our FMP, which is a free rein, basically, using any of the skills that you've developed. Ollie, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, so to give you some examples of level 2 media and level 3 game design projects. So we've done the genre film, and we're doing a computer game on level 2 as well, so it prepares you for doing some filmmaking stuff and some game design stuff, depending on what direction you want to go into. In game design, we have done a basic introduction to making a computer game. So you've done a game based on a certain genre. So students pull out a genre out of the hat, and they then have to research that genre and then make a game in that genre. At the moment, the game design first years are working on a BBC brief for GCSE Bitesize. So they've been commissioned by, we've adapted like a commission from the BBC, where they have to design a game for GCSE Bitesize to teach students a certain subject. So they've got to make a game for that. So it's very, very industry focused. And they're also doing a live brief for, I think it's a horse grooming company, which for work experience this year, where the level 2 media students are making a film and they're doing promotional materials for the horse grooming company. So it's kind of emulating a real life freelance project that they might get were they working in industry.
Okay, that's great. Thanks both. We've just had one final question that's just come through, again, around the level 2 and level 3 applications. They just want to clarify if they should apply for either the level 2 or level 3, depending on what grades they think they may achieve. I believe it's that they should apply for the level 3, and then we can obviously look at that nearer the time if they don't make the grades, unless there's anything you'd like to add, Victoria, but I think that's...
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you're working towards grade 4s and they're kind of some of the things that you're getting through, some of your assessments and the feedback from your teachers, apply for the level 3. And then if that's not the case, when you get your results, we can then look at offering you a level 2.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much. So I think that's all the questions we've got for now. So if you do have any further questions after the webinar's ended, please do get in touch with us via the contact details on our website. We hope you found the webinar useful. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to join another one of our webinars, so if you are looking at other sort of course areas, do head across to our website and you will be able to join these from the open event page using the same link. Okay. So thank you for listening and have a nice day.